Welcome to tonight's episode of Brooklyn's Bridge. Tonight's topic teaser is, it's common from about age 2, considered to be inappropriate by most. What are some of the underlying factors when it comes to the misconception versus the acceptance of masturbation?
So by now you should know from the topic teaser that the topic tonight is on masturbation. Masturbation is a natural occurrence that presents itself in childhood for males and females. It is a common childhood habit. Most children, both boys and girls, play with their genitals, external sex organs, or private parts fairly regularly by the age of 5 to 6. How do children learn about masturbation? It's not learned, it's natural exploration of their bodies. No one has to teach a child to explore his or her genitals. Once the child discovers that it provides a feeling of pleasure, the child will most likely continue. So I have some stats from Planned Parenthood and www.med.umich.edu. By the age of 15, almost 100% of boys and 25% of girls have masturbated to the point of orgasm. Estimates of the rate of adult masturbation are about 95 to 99% of men and 40 to 60% of women. Masturbation may make sexual intercourse more enjoyable because you already know what it takes to please you. Most people who reach orgasm with a partner have also experienced an orgasm from masturbation. Masturbation releases stress and physical tension. Many people masturbate to relax, and it can help some fall asleep. Masturbation is a safe and healthy way to have sex and is here to stay. Plus, solo sex is the ultimate form of safer sex. There is no risk of pregnancy or infection. What is so funny?
Masturbation's the bomb. I never really analyzed it like that. God.
So,
A whole lot of benefits.
yes, a whole lot of benefits. So some studies suggest that there have been cases of prenatal ultrasounds revealing male fetuses masturbating.
Men.
Right.
You know.
So the
You
question,
see how y'all do
even
it?
in the belly,
the
from
first-
the womb.
the first question on the panel tonight is, if you found your young child masturbating, would you allow it or reprimand them?
You can't reprimand them.
Yeah, I would.
I mean,
I would reprimand
you
them.
gotta watch how you do it though, because you don't want a kid to feel like they're a weirdo when it's a natural thing.
No,
You
but
just
I
gotta tell them,
wouldn't.
this is your, body. That's a private moment for when you're a little older.
Mm-mm.
But if you like, what are you doing?
At what
Like, you
age?
weirdo.
So, like, let's be
You
real
can't.
though.
I
You're
mean,
not gonna. Oh, don't
I
do
know.
that. You're like, what are you doing?
Yes.
Stop doing that.
You'll be, especially that young. I would be freaked out, but this is why we're here.
I
If
mean,
that
for me,
time comes, we need to not freak them out.
I used to
'Cause
joke
kids
about
feel-
it. I used to be like, you stay choking that chicken.
But he's a baby.
Why you choking the chicken? Stop choking the chicken.
He's a baby, and they do. They feel it.
I think because it's natural and because people do it and you don't really know at that young age, that I think for me personally, reprimanding them is making them ashamed of something
Yes.
that they naturally do or would do.
I think it's how you do it.
Yes, it's how you do it.
It's definitely how you
definitely-
do it.
I wouldn't-
Them. You can't make them.
I would
feel
never make them feel like it's okay.
And I think the fact that you see it,
You
it's not okay because you can't do.
don't want them whipping it out in public.
But what if they in the bathroom?
Definitely
and you
not
come
publicly.
and you come busting in the bathroom. You did not.
but
you
no,
go
but-
bust-
No pedophiles in there. No door closed that I can't walk in. Nothing crazy better be going on.
I'm not saying that I'm not saying that we should say it's okay. But what I'm saying is if you have like a teenager, maybe from the ages of 12 to like 15.
Oh, a teenager.
I
I'm
wasn't
not
saying
Teenager, I'm slapping you down. Because that means the monkey done woke up. Somebody done
No,
been
I
down
would
there.
not reprimand a teenager for that. I really
I wouldn't reprimand
No.
a baby,
And
but a teenager, no. Somebody don't.
Well,
woke the
we're
monkey
talking
up.
to
It's
a
time for
woman who
discussion.
owns a man after 4 hours. So clearly she ain't ready.
But no, I think
But a
that.
teenager,
But no, I
I mean,
think
that's
that you
what
have to
teenagers
reprimand them when they're young because you have to establish the control factor. Because I think you have to figure out if it's natural or if it's a sickness. Because some people do it and grow up and it becomes somewhat of a sickness
Right.
where they do it anywhere, don't care who's around.
Yeah.
So you have to tell them, you have to teach them, you have to say no,
Make
don't
them
do
aware
that to
of
make
it.
them aware of it. So now they're conscious that even though I do it,
Oh, no.
I'm doing it in
The
private.
sex
Exactly.
talk,
Maybe you
the
need to
sex
find
talk
out-
needs to come, definitely.
Yeah, and
If
then
you
Because
catch
if you
them.
see a big boy,
But not to make
on
them
the
feel like it's
street
wrong.
doing that.
It's not wrong.
He ain't right.
No,
What
maybe
happened-
that's
you also
crazy.
need
what
to
happened
find
the other,
out.
what happened recently when I saw a grown man,
Well, that happened to me in the
Exactly.
street as well.
I
Yeah.
said,
So,
what are you doing? I said, what are you doing?
no, well,
He said,
I ran. I took the
He said-
different approach. I was,
And then
He said,
what's
I'm
his
sorry,
name,
I'm sorry, I'm
Leroy?
sorry, but I know this person.
Mm-hmm.
So I know that that's not something he would normally do. I know that he's getting older. Something's not right up here that he would expose
He
himself in
didn't.
public.
He stopped because he
And-
saw her. But when he saw me and I rolled down my window and I was like, "What are you doing?" And he literally stood there and kept his eyes right on me, zipped down his pants,
You gave him a
and threw
visual.
it out.
Yes.
Straight threw it
That's
out.
crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, and for us,
And then
sorry.
from her door, she was like,
I
"That's not
knew who
cool.
he
What are you
was.
doing?"
So
On your
something
block?
wasn't,
Right across the
something
street
was
from
not
my
right
house.
up here at that point. So when I called his name and said, "Hey, what are you doing?" He snapped out of it.
And then he hurried up. Take your black home.
Exactly.
Then he
So when I
hurried up
saw
and
him-
said,
but
"Whoop."
that, when I saw a family member, I said to them, I said, "Hey, what's going on with him?" Because I know that's not him. But that's not okay. Because if somebody had seen somebody else had caught him, the consequences would have been different. I said, and the other person that witnessed it could have actually put him in jail.
yeah. But you know what? That for me is an extreme. I'm talking about a teenager, 15 years old, in his or her room, doing whatever. If I caught them, I wouldn't make them feel like it's weird. That means you need to talk to them seriously about sex, because in a minute that masturbation is not going to be enough.
but then
Well,
you
that's
also
what's
need
gonna
to
wait.
find
That's
out
before we
also-
go. That's what's gonna lead to the next question, and that's right. So the next question is: as a parent of a teen, would you rather them masturbate or have sex? Now, you exactly, because you have to think. You have to think about the.
Y'all answer those questions.
I think you have to think
Yeah,
about
my
the
babies.
fact that the teens are having sex.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
if they're having
And
sex,
at young ages too.
if they're having sex and that's something that we can't stop, would you rather them masturbate or engage
I
in
can't
sex?
answer that question honestly.
Well, I have
I
a
wouldn't
teen,
know.
so I'll
Right,
answer
yeah.
that.
I think that I would rather them do that in private and me not know about it
Yeah.
than for them to be out in the world exploring other people,
Yes.
coming back with disease, getting people pregnant.
Mhm.
So listen, do that in the privacy of your room, your shower, whatever. I won't know about it. Nobody's gonna come back and tell me.
That your middle finger gave you a disease.
Nobody's
Be
gonna
good.
tell me that. I don't. But it's it becomes a very private act.
Yeah.
Nobody knows but you that it happened.
Well, for me, as a parent of a teenage child, it's a problem. Both. To be sexually active and for me to know that you're masturbating. I don't want to know that.
That's what I'm saying. I don't want to know either. But if it stays,
But which
with
would you rather?
I don't prefer either one of them. I can't say, all right,
Because
so
the
I would
masturbation
rather her
leads to them going
masturbate
to go have
over
sex because they
having
want to know
sex.
what sex is like.
Okay, but let's be realistic.
If it was one or the
It's-
other option, you
These
got to choose.
right, these kids are
I'll take that.
out. They're out there and they're doing things and they're having sex and they're exploring. So if you had to, let's just say you were able to educate your child, or your child said, "Hey, mom, you know, I was thinking of having sex, but say it was an open dialogue, and I also masturbate." Would you be the parent to say, well, maybe you should explore, because we have to have the open dialogue, masturbation more because that's safer?
I don't think I'm gonna tell my child explore.
No. What I'm saying is, with the things that's happening nowadays, I'm not saying you should tell her to explore, but the shit is happening and we can't control it.
Yeah, and I think it's such a
know.
private
Yeah, that's a hard
Yeah.
thing.
That's-
I don't want to
control
condone my kids masturbating.
How would you handle
No.
that? How do you think you would handle that?
I think that if she came to me and we had a conversation and we talked about both, I would just let her know that masturbating can become addictive, which can lead to other things, and you don't want to over abuse anything. But it's the safer form of sex.
and just teach her how to be
Because
discreet.
if you're gonna have sex,
be discreet.
it's the safer form. I would rather her not do it,
when girls get old enough.
but it's the
not.
safer form.
You
Ever.
better stop saying that.
Because all her answers are like, so, no, I would
Yeah, that's why I
support
said,
of it.
that's why I said
They're
I
still
can't answer that
babies
honestly
now.
because I'm not at that age.
So
And
you're all politically correct for right
You
now.
could be politically correct all you want, but with this topic, it's neither. This topic is such a catch-22.
Yeah, it is.
That
it is.
It's a sad situation because you may have, and then you really have to really find out what caused them to be so sexually
Curious.
Because you may
exactly.
have a situation where you have a young girl who was molested,
Mm-hmm.
who may now have some sort of feeling. Not that they are, of course, there's nothing right with what was being done to them, but that sensation that they felt while that situation was happening, maybe something that they experienced when they were in the shower bathing themselves, and now they are exploring that sensation that came from that occurrence.
That's
And
what I
then-
said. For me, it's like something.
You know,
I need to understand
you
who
need to
woke the
understand
monkey because
why-
somebody woke it up.
Why that happened.
And doing
comes to that
research,
part.
it doesn't say that masturbation itself is bad. It's being addicted to it. Like doing too much of any one thing is bad.
Let me tell you, once, this was back when I was in college, I was doing this. I have a habit of, I may do this, and a girlfriend of mine sitting there, we're talking. We're in a place, a lounge place, with, where lots of people were, and I'm sitting there talking, but I'm doing this. And I did this, and she says to me, that's, she told me, she said, such and such told me that that's a form of masturbation. Right, I was mortified too.
And you do this because you do this all the time.
Right, but she's telling me. But see, the thing is honestly, I was mortified, and I'm like, come on, me doing this to myself. No, it's I don't want to believe that that's a form of masturbation. But honestly, what's the difference?
Yeah, you are feeling yourself.
What's the difference?
And
did you get anything from it?
No, but I mean, I
If
guess
she does it feels good.
It's not.
That's what I'm saying. You get something from it, not a
It's not a
sensation, but
sexual thing. But it's like I can comfort myself by doing this. It's calming or whatever. I have this habit.
And it's funny that
Sometimes
you say
when
that.
I sit here, sometimes I do
that.
this.
Because I stroke my neck.
You do that.
So I guess I masturbate.
Right, but she's
I
saying
always
that.
I do. Stop.
Masturbating when I do that.
I'm masturbating right now. No, but I do. I stroke my neck all the time.
Masturbate,
But
girl.
see, there's various
Stroking
forms.
the outside of your neck is
It
better
doesn't
than stroking
necessarily
the
mean
inside.
that it's sexual.
Stroke my neck.
Yeah.
It's something to think about. But yeah, I was mortified when she told me that.
Yeah,
Like,
that's-
excuse me, like, don't use that term around me.
I am not masturbating.
So why do you think there's so much like there are negative connotations to it? Because
I think because people are uncomfortable with their
Own
bodies.
sexuality.
Yeah, I think you have to be comfortable with yourself to even have an educated conversation about it.
because
I think
sex is real. Sex is what should happen when you're married from the Bible. But sex is
It's natural.
It's a natural
But
order.
you know what? I think it comes from, honestly, it has nothing to do with people. It has to do with your upbringing.
Yeah.
Sex is not something that was glorified. It's like something that you do in private. Nobody knows about it. So if masturbation is a form of sex, that's why it was never expressed to be something that you discuss openly or do openly. It's a form of sex.
I know definitely in my mother, and I'm sure she'll be watching, I'm still a virgin. We have never had a conversation about sex, ever.
She ain't seen the first show.
the main show.
But I'm saying, my
That's her name on that show.
my family, we do not talk about sex.
Oh,
It's
but they
not
talk about it in my
something we do.
family.
It's
From my
not
grandmother's
something That's why
side.
I'm going to be
That's how
different. I'm
Oh
gonna
yeah,
be
me and my
different.
mother used to talk.
Man,
She's like,
I've
I
never
hate
had
they
that
gonna
kind of
do this to you.
conversation.
You may have
Don't
had it
do
with an
nothing.
aunt.
Yeah. I mean, we don't talk about it.
No, we don't talk about it,
don't
but
talk
we talk.
about
I talk about it with Rosalie.
Yeah,
I talked about it with my mom.
Yeah,
Very
I
openly.
had to talk with my aunt.
It's
Like, it
it's
was
a
hard
different type
talking
of
to
talk with my
grandmother.
aunt. Like it's not like when I first started out. Like now it's more of an adult conversation with my aunt, so it's not like
Right.
really talking about having, sex is different. But
Well, it's crazy because
Are you mad?
No.
You masturbating?
She
Felicia?
already
No, I said
Felicia's masturbating.
no. I said that
Let her
door
hear.
keep opening and closing
Mhm,
over
it
there.
does.
Them two in there.
When I first experienced, when I had my first orgasm, I realized that feeling was far greater than any feeling that I've had when I was having sex when I was younger. So now knowing what young